Hey guys, this is Coach Gagan and welcome to my mobility class. So this video is more of ankle and hip mobility and a little bit of thoracic spine mobility, which are key points to make your posture tall, sit tall, stand tall and keep you injury free for long. I train a lot of endurance athletes. We use few muscles bit more than others, so our joints become stiff and tight, resulting to overuse injuries. So let's start with the ankle mobility drills first. Sit into this position, so your right foot is close to your hip, heel on the ground, other knee bend. You are sitting on one foot. Keep your chest loaded on the front thigh and then try to reach forward as far as possible, increasing the stretch in the calf and reducing the angle of your ankle joint. Try to take deep breaths, about 5 to 6 breaths for each repetition. Come back, one more time, reach down, reach far, and with this repetition, once you are into full range, I want you to press all your toes into the ground. So activating the arc of the foot and strengthening your calf. 5 deep breaths. Relax. One more repetition on right side. Now when we reach down forward as far as you can, try to lift up all the toes off the ground. So that will fire up the muscle in front of your shin, which becomes weak with lots of running and sitting and sedentary lifestyle. I want you to lift your toes off the ground. You actually can't do it, but you can feel a little stress in front of your shin. That's fine. Those muscles are working now. Relax. Switch to the other side. So your left heel goes close to your hip. You sit on your right leg, keeping your chest up. You reach forward as far as possible with your hands. Breathe. Knee should stay inside, so your chest is actually touching on the thigh. First rep, breathe. Just get more range out of your ankle joint without lifting the heel. Come back. Again, reach down as far as you can. Try to press all the toes into the ground. Deep breaths, relax, and the third rep, we reach forward and then try to lift up the toes off the ground. Relax. So if this feels tight and inflexible, you can actually do multiple sets and repetitions. We have done 3 reps on each side. You can repeat it twice or thrice as per your ankle mobility issues. Second one, I really like this one. So it's like inverted V position or downward dog. Heels on the ground, hip goes high. Both feet are parallel. You are pushing your hands into the ground, closing the gap from your arms to your ears. You look down between your ankle joints. Try to extend your knees completely and dig in those heels into the ground. Stay here for 5 breaths. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now try to lift your left heel off the ground and push your body up higher and try to dig in that right heel into the ground harder. And then swap, walk it. Hold each side for about 5 breaths. And we do 3 repetitions on both legs. As you press your heel into the ground, try to push yourself more with your hands and lift those hips higher to the ceiling. Make sure you take deeper breaths in all the mobility drills. That will enhance the relaxation in the joints and improve the overall flexibility. Last rep on the left. Relax. Moving up to the hip. So often we notice lots of pains and aches in the knee joints. Knee joints are actually very resilient. So if you have stiff ankles or weak muscles around your ankles, and you have stiff hips, that's actually a major cause which results in your knee pain. So if you fix your hips and your ankles, knees work absolutely fine. So starting with the hip joint, I want you to sit into a single knee stance, 1 foot forward, place both hands on the hip. So pelvis need to tuck under and back, about 10 repetitions. Every time you tuck in, try to squeeze this glute. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Tuck under and hold. I want you to tuck that toe as well. Try to drive that toe into the ground. Tuck your pelvis and squeeze this glute. Chin up, tall spine. Breathe for about 5 repetitions. We do 3 repetitions on each side. Tuck under, squeeze the glute, press those toes into the ground. If you can't feel anything, just drive your hips slightly forward. You'll feel a nice deep stretch here. Your shoulder, hip, knee should be in one line. 5 breaths. Relax. Again, tuck under, glide forward, squeeze this hip, shoulders back and down. Breathe. So this is a basic prescription. If you sit for 1 hour, you need to do this stretch 1 minute on each side. That will counterbalance your sitting. So if you sit for long, your hips become tight. Left leg forward. First, we do the pelvic tilts 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just the pelvic bone. Grab it. And 10. Try to press those toes into the ground. Try to tuck under and squeeze this hip, this glute, right. 5 deep breaths. Second repetition, we go back, tuck under, drive those toes forward, take this hip slightly forward to get more stretch and keep squeezing this glute. One last time, tuck under, drive down and slightly forward, stretching. Breathe. Keep that hip glute squeezed all the time. And relax. One more variation, or you can say different kind of stretch for your hip flexors. We'll be biasing our quadricep in this one. So you have multiple options. You can either hold your ankle, put your foot on a higher surface, a sofa or something, or you can actually go on the wall. I'll be doing 1 rep with the ankle holding in my hand and 2 reps with my foot on the wall. So sitting on my left knee again, I will bend my ankle. You can fold the mat. If your floor is hard, this will ease out any discomfort in the knee. So step, bend the knee, grab the ankle joint. Keep this foot forward. You can hold on to something if you find the balance is a challenge. Try to tuck under. The same thing, we'll do 5 repetitions. 2, 3, 4, 5. Tuck under and hold. Pull this shoulder back and down. Open up your chest and breathe deeper. Once this gets comfortable, try to take that heel close to the hip. 5 breaths and switch. Grab the ankle, leg can go slightly wider to maintain the balance. Tuck your pelvis. 1, 2. Every time you tuck under, you try to squeeze this glute, the ankle you are holding. 4 and 5. Stay here. 5 deep breaths. Keep squeezing the glute. If this becomes comfortable, take your heel closer to the hip. Relax. You can continue with this one, or you can put your foot on a higher surface. That works. I'll be going to the wall. So Take your mat close to the wall. Closer, the harder. So the ankle I was holding, that foot goes up, toe pointing up to the ceiling, knee close to the ground, shoulders back and down. Now you don't need to hold the ankle, you just do the pelvic tilt, squeeze your left butt and just stay here. Breathe. To increase the stretch, I will add up rotation in next repetition. Breathe. Switch, other leg goes up, knee on the mat, toe pointing up to the ceiling, left foot forward, a pelvic tilt, and just stay here. Breathe. Try to squeeze the right butt, chest stays proud, look straight ahead, and deep breaths. Switch. This time my left leg goes up on the wall, right foot goes forward. I do a pelvic tilt. I get the stretch in my hip flexor. It also rotates your hip. So both hands go behind my head. I keep my pelvic tucked under. Left hip is squeezed. I slowly turn my torso to the right, approximately 45 degrees, and breathe deeper. Keep those elbows wide, fingers interlocked behind your head. Deep breaths. Your diaphragm plays a huge role in opening your hips, so try to take deeper breaths down to your belly button. Relax and come back. Switch. Last repetition. Right leg goes up, toe up to the ceiling, left foot forward. Tuck that pelvis under, squeeze your right glute really hard, fingers interlocked behind your head, elbows pointing on the side, chest proud, slowly turn to your left, 45 degrees. Make sure you are connecting everything together, not just your neck or shoulders, you are rotating from your torso. Squeeze that glute, take deeper breaths. Relax. Next one, moving down to 90-90. So open up the mat. We'll be sitting into a 90-90 position, but first we'll mobilize into that position. So your feet are slightly wider outside the mat, fingers pointing back. Keep your chest up. You slowly roll down both knees on the sides. Make sure your knees and hip make a 90-degree angle. Going to the other side, switch, switch, switch. I want you to actually press those knees into the ground with each rep now. If you can't reach to the ground, try to reach down with your knees. Once you are there, you try to press them actively into the floor. 2 more. Last one. Relax. Now I want you to sit into a 90-90 position, a stationary, stable 90-90, which looks like this. So your knee and hip both are at 90-degree angle. You need to sit tall, first of all. If you can't sit or you are slightly diagonal on the side, you need to release this hip joint a bit. So just dig in your thumb or your knuckles, try to release the tight tissues here on the hip joint so that you can sit comfortably. That's the first point. Place this hand close to your hip, try to maintain a tall spine. Sit here for at least 5 deep breaths. Now you take your right arm forward, try to bend down from the hips, keeping your chest up. Avoid curling from the spine, reach down and hold. 3, 2, 1. Slowly rotate, your chest goes over to the ankle. Bend down again. 3, 2, 1. Chest goes to the knee. Bend from the hips. 3, 2, 2 and 1. We'll do it one more time. Chest proud, bend from the hips, reach forward. 3 breaths. Rotate to the right, reach forward and back. Rotate to the left, reach forward and back. Swap sides. Right leg forward, left leg back. Make sure you are in 90-90 position. Try to release the hip again if required. If you can't sit like this, there must be some tightness in the hip. Once you can, place this right hand close to your hip. Try to sit taller and take deeper breaths. Left arm goes forward, hip hinge. Try to reach forward with your hand without curling from the spine, bending from the hip. And back towards the ankle. Rotate your torso, chest goes towards the ankle. Come back, rotate, chest goes towards the knee. Relax, we'll do one more round. Forward and back towards the ankle and back towards the knee. And relax. Moving down to the next stretch for your hip or mobility drill. It's called a frog stretch. So I want you to fold the mat from the sides. You will be putting your knees outside the center line, so knees go slightly wider. Toes are slightly pointing outward. So like this. Both elbows on the ground. And I want you to glide forward and back about 5 repetitions. Sitting deeper at the rear end. Last one. Hold it down on the sides. Now I want you to think as if you are sitting in a door when you have 2 walls outside your knees. I need to push your knees into those walls and break those walls, actually break those walls. So I want you to push your knees into those walls. You will feel the glute engagement. You can feel your glutes getting tighter. Stay here for 5 breaths. And relax, glide forward. Again, sit back as far as you can. Push your knees into the walls and breathe. 5 breaths. Relax, glide forward and back. Push your knees into the walls. Try to increase the range with each repetition. This time when you go forward, I want you to bring your right foot along so that you rotate your right hip internally. Knees still bend at 90 degrees. Rotate your leg into internal rotation. Sit back. Push your knees against the walls again. We'll do 2 repetitions on both sides with rotation. Glide forward. Left leg goes up. Knee bend 90 degrees. Slowly try to rotate that leg from the hip joint. And try to increase the range of motion with each rep. Sit back, 1 more on each side. Sit back as far as you can. Push your knees against the wall. Squeeze your glutes. Hold it. And then slowly glide forward, taking your right foot off the ground, hip into internal rotation. Sit back. Last repetition. Push your knees against the wall. Breathe. And glide through. Left foot goes off the ground. Relax. Now you can feel the difference if you glide back and forth for about 5 times from where you started, and now it's much easier. The last one, I want to incorporate thoracic spines because this area is really stiff when you sit for long or work on the computer all day long. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hip, This is a box position. I want you to place your left hand behind your head, tuck your elbow to your right forearm, and slowly take the elbow up to the ceiling. Try to track your elbow with your eyes. Try to reach up with each progressive repetition. Higher. 2, 3. We'll do 5 on each side. 4. Last one. And come back to box. Right hand goes behind your head. Tuck under. Elbow to the forearm. Then reach up. Elbow to the ceiling. Try to look at the elbow. Tuck again. 2. 3. 4. And last one. 5. So these were few drills for your ankle, hip and thoracic mobility. You should be ideally doing this for almost every single day to stay injury free and to move better in life. Signing off guys, Gagan Arora.